When trying to answer the question, what is the greatest TV show of all time, there are a number of ways to think about it. Is it the show that was great its entire run, from pilot to finale? Is it a show that makes us feel a certain way? Maybe we are influenced by where we are in our own lives at the time, and we watch something at the perfect or worst moment to do so. Can we also be influenced by nostalgia and member berries? And then when rewatching certain shows again, we realise that in fact, they were not as good as we remembered. I was actually having this conversation with a few mates the other night and found myself repeatedly coming back to the same thing. The best single seasons of a show. That is the shows that were amazing for a moment, or for some of their overall run. It can sometimes be hard to think about a show's high points if the ending left you sour, or the quality dropped off. Does the fact that Game of Thrones had one of the worst final seasons ever change the fact that for years it was great? The Walking Dead had me hooked in early seasons, but then lost my interest completely. But for a while I loved it. How about those series with enjoyable first seasons that with hindsight probably should have stayed as one-offs like Prison Break, Wayward Pines, Westworld or Altered Carbon? My point is, even if the overall show is not talked about in the greatest ever list, it doesn't mean that it didn't achieve greatness for a moment. And there is something beautiful in that, something beautiful in these moments. That's why I decided to create this video series on the channel, the greatest single series of TV ever made. We'll look at the shows that maybe didn't quite stick the landing, tailed off, or in some cases, completely lost the plot. But for a moment, were ace. First up is the absolute peak of what was an excellent show, Dexter. Now for those of you who don't know, Dexter falls into the category of not sticking the landing. And to be honest, after this season, it generally lost some of its magic. But let's not let that change the fact that season 4 of Dexter was ace. So I probably should add that from here on in, spoilers for Dexter's seasons 1 through 4. So just as a quick recap so we know exactly where we are as we begin season 4, Dexter Morgan is a blood splatter analyst working with Miami PD. And he is also a serial killer. But he has a code instilled in him by his adoptive father Harry, which means he only kills those who deserve it. The number one rule of the code is don't get caught. So to help him hide his dark side, Dexter attempts to build a normal looking life and persona. He's dating Rita, a damaged single mum who has 2 kids from a previous abusive relationship. While his facade fools most, another member of the Miami PD team, Sergeant Dokes, is suspicious of Dexter, to the point of regularly confronting him about his whereabouts and behaviour. Also working with Dexter in Miami PD is his sister Deb, otherwise known as Detective Morgan. In season 1, Miami PD is hunting a new serial killer, the Ice Truck Killer, a ruthless individual who cuts his victims into pieces. During the course of season 1, it seems like the Ice Truck Killer is trying to communicate with Dexter through his crimes. We learn of Dexter's traumatic experience growing up when his own mother was brutally killed in front of him and his brother when he was a child. Harry was the first cop on the scene of the murder and decided to adopt Dexter afterwards. In the current timeline, we follow Miami PD hunting down the Ice Truck Killer. We see Dexter getting closer to Rita, and Deb falls in love with a surgeon. As it turns out, the Ice Truck Killer is both Dexter's long-lost brother and the surgeon Deb has fallen for. In the end, everything comes to a head in a great finale, and Dexter has to take out his own brother to protect both his own life and that of his adoptive sister Deb. It must be said that the first season of Dexter is right up there with season 4, and some people might argue that that one's the best. Not me though. Anyway, in season 2 the show continues to be great. Season 2 is all about Sergeant Dokes hunting down Dexter and actually discovering his dark secret, only for Dexter to ultimately get the best of Dokes and evade capture. Season 3 is a hard one to rank. There's a really enjoyable performance from Jimmy Smits as Miguel Prado, an attorney befriended by Dexter, who also has a dark side. The two start killing together, with Dexter allowing someone else to see his dark side for the first time. Ultimately though, Dexter has to take out Miguel to protect his own secret and his own delicate family relationships. Another significant development in season 3 is that Rita becomes pregnant and she and Dexter eventually agree to get married. Everything seems rosy and Dexter is embracing the idea of being a good family man and brother, while still feeding his dark passenger as and when he must. The reason I say season 3 is a hard one to rank is that for me, overall it's a bit boring. I never quite buy Miguel as a serious threat to Dexter, and the drama with Rita drags. I know some people love the season, but it's not in the top 3 seasons of Dexter for my money. Which brings us to season 4. This season is the absolute peak of the show. Before I explain why, I'll just quickly give the headlines on what happens as we move through the episodes. We get straight into it with the first scene being a super creepy killer, played by John Lithgow, naked in the bath with a woman, who is killed in a calm, calculated, disturbing way. Just as we cut to Dexter trying to get some sleep after recently becoming a father, and immediately the scene is set. We have obviously met Dexter's new adversary, and immediately he has our attention. We also learn that Dexter is struggling to balance his personal life with that of his dark side. During the early episodes, we learn through Special Agent Lundy, a great returning character from season 2 and the love of Deb's life, that this new serial killer has been at this for decades, killing in patterns of 3, hence the nickname, the Trinity Killer. As the season progresses, Dexter, under the alias Kyle Butler, and Trinity become friends, and Dexter sees that Trinity actually has a wife, kids, and is a pillar of his local community, all while being a serial killer, something Dexter is struggling to achieve. The pace of the season picks up as Lundy and Deb move closer to figuring out who Trinity is, and Dexter tries to learn how to achieve the same balance that Trinity has in his own life. But as we move through the story, we see not is all as it seems with Trinity. His family are petrified of him, and he's showing more and more signs of not being in control. We start to see him as a truly disturbed, very dangerous individual. Anyway, Dexter seems to have everything under control when it comes to Trinity, even saving him from throwing himself off a building. All because Dexter wants to be the one to end Trinity himself. But slowly things begin to unravel. Lundy is killed by an associate of Trinity, and then in a brilliantly done moment, Trinity figures out Dexter's true identity, and the end battle is now set. Now so far in Dexter there have been a slight air of inevitability around the ending. Dexter being the title character obviously gives him massive plot armor anyway, but he has always seemingly been in control of the situations, especially when it comes to any final showdown. Dexter is just smarter, more prepared, and always one step ahead of his foes. And in a way we enter this final showdown with Trinity with a similar feeling, but with a slight unease because Trinity has been so unpredictable so far. In the final episode we do get the showdown we expected, with a twist we totally did not. Dexter does get his hands on Trinity, and finally ends him. But little do we know before this moment, Trinity has already done his damage. As the audience, we find this out at the same time as Dexter in the final scene, when he discovers Rita dead in the bathtub, murdered by Trinity. This really was the definition of a shock ending when it hit screens in 2009. So now we know what happened, let's talk about why season 4 of Dexter achieved greatness. Reason number 1. The villain. It's sometimes said that your hero can only be as good as your villain. Take note, Disney Marvel. And if we assume that Dexter is our hero, then he more than meets his match in Trinity. From the first moment of the first episode, Trinity is presented as a true threat. He is then fleshed out to become much more than just a one-note killer of the week. He shows weakness and vulnerability mixed with his sheer menace, and is played brilliantly by John Lithgow. There's also something I find dangerous about his size and presence. Standing at 6'4", he towers over Dexter, and you seriously wonder if he can be taken down in any confrontation. Reason number 2, the pacing. Some series will give you a slow burn where things start off slow and build to a crescendo, and that's cool. But Dexter 4 is full throttle from the first minute. No messing, no easing back into things. The first minute of the first episode, we see Trinity doing horrible things. But then throughout the season, despite the intense pace, we still find moments to breathe and just take in what the hell just happened. Reason number 3, the supporting stories. Now we know that this season will forever be remembered as Dexter vs Trinity. And if that's all we got, cool, great story. But there's some other great storylines and performances in this season that add massively. Lundy and Deb's relationship is a great storyline. So much better than her boring relationship with Anton in the previous season. The subsequent murder of Lundy and wounding of Deb hits hard and adds to the belief that Trinity may get the best of our gang. Another interesting story thread is that of Christine Hill, who turns out to be Trinity's daughter and shooter of Lundy and Deb. Another big twist we didn't see coming. I also actually dig the relationship between LaGuerta and the lovable Sergeant Batista, which kinda comes out of nowhere in this season. Reason number 4, the surprises. I make no apologies for saying I love a good twist or surprise in a story. A shocking moment that is well planned out with impact can really take a show film from the good to the unforgettable. Dexter Season 4 has them in abundance. From the smile-inducing surprises like the return of Lundy, the Batista-LaGuerta marriage, to the full shocks of Christine reveal, the shooting of Lundy and Deb, and the unforgettable
Hello, Dexter Morgan.
But undoubtedly the biggest shock of all this is the ending. It isn't only the shock of what happens, it's the way it's revealed to us. One way to deliver this would have been for Trinity to kill Rita and then Dexter to take revenge. But the writer's choice of having Dexter deliver his fatal blow and leaving us to believe he now goes on to live happily ever after, but then reveal that Rita has already been killed before any of that. Wow, what a great way to do it. If you take all these factors, all these moments, and then combine them with the hindsight of realising that Dexter could have prevented all of this happening multiple times throughout the season, at one point even saved Trinity, the shock ending becomes even more gut-wrenching. What a brilliant way to tell the story. So that's what I reckon. Season 4 of Dexter, an all-time classic. A season that had it all. Iconic performances, great stories, unexpected moments, a brilliant villain, and an unforgettable ending. Over its 8 seasons, Dexter wasn't perfect, but for this moment in time, it was beautiful, and that is sometimes enough. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. You can also check out another all-time TV moment with my breakdown of the Lost episode Walkabout by clicking here. And I will see you in the next video.